There comes a moment, quiet, piercing, undeniable, when the noise of the world fades, and you're left alone with one question echoing in the hollow of your chest. Who are you becoming? Not who they say you are, not the title on your business card or the number on your paycheck. Not your past, not your mistakes, not your highlight reel. But beneath all of it, when the lights go out, when the applause stops, when no one is watching, who are you becoming? Because if you're not choosing to shape that answer with fire and purpose, the world will shape it for you, with fear, distraction, and mediocrity. You don't need more motivation. You need a war cry. A declaration. An unbreakable decision. You are not here to pass time. You are not here to merely exist. You are here to awaken, to forge something greater. And it starts the moment you stop waiting for permission. No more excuses. No more borrowed dreams. No more playing small to make others comfortable. The only motivation you will ever need is buried inside the decision to rise. Everything begins in the mind. Before the skyscraper, there was the blueprint. Before the empire, there was a vision. Before victory, there was belief. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." What do you think you're capable of? Not with your lips, anyone can speak confidence. I'm asking, what do you believe in the marrow of your bones? Because the world will test you, again and again, to see if you're telling the truth. The mind is a forge. It heats, it hammers, it molds. But if you feed it weakness, fear, distraction, it will forge chains. Feed it strength, and it will forge weapons. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who wait for life to happen, and those who dare to shape it. You don't control what you're born into. You don't control who hurt you, who left you, what storms have come. But you do control this moment. You control what you think, what you feed, what you become. Your mind is your kingdom. Guard it with fire. Build it with intention. No empire is built on accident. Belief isn't something you have. It's something you build. Brick by brick, thought by thought, battle by battle. Belief is not inherited. It's earned. Walt Disney was fired for a lack of imagination. Edison failed 1,000 times before he lit the world. Abraham Lincoln lost more elections than he won until he became the name etched in the soul of a nation. They weren't lucky. They weren't chosen. They simply refused to stop believing. Even when no one else could see it, they did. The world is not waiting for the most talented. It is waiting for the most relentless. Stop looking around for someone to approve of your vision. Stop asking for validation like a child tugging at a parent's sleeve. If you saw what you could become, if you truly saw it, you wouldn't waste another breath doubting yourself. Belief is the fire that melts away the lies you've been told. That you're not enough. That you're too late. That your dreams are too big. Too big for who? The only limits that exist are the ones you accept. Burn them. Clarity is power. It cuts through noise. It silences the world. It turns motion into momentum. A man with no clarity is a leaf in the wind, always moving, never arriving. But the man who knows, who sees with surgical precision what he is building, that man is unstoppable. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple because he was chasing trends. He knew what he was building. Every choice aligned. Every sacrifice was worth it. He wasn't addicted to busy, he was possessed by clarity. And clarity doesn't come from scrolling, from comparing, from the circus of the crowd. It comes from stillness. From asking yourself, what am I really here for? Not what sounds good. Not what pleases others. Not what pays the most. But what makes your blood burn and your lungs expand. What lights your spirit in the dark. If you don't know, stop everything and find out. Because if you don't choose your direction, someone else will. A man who chases everything catches nothing. Find your one thing. and pursue it with the ferocity of a lion. The world makes way for the man who knows where he's going. Vision is not a wish. It is an architecture of destiny. It is the future speaking back to the present. And the ones who change the world are the ones who listen. Martin Luther King Jr. saw a world that didn't exist, and he spoke it into the bones of a nation. Elon Musk looked to the stars and refused to believe we belonged only on Earth. Carnegie, Rockefeller, Oprah, they saw before they built. Vision is the heartbeat of all greatness. But it demands everything. It demands that you live in alignment. That you trade comfort for clarity. That you walk through fire with your eyes wide open. You don't find your vision. You choose it. And once you do, you feed it daily. Not just with effort, but with identity. Don't just dream it, become the kind of person who brings it to life. Let your vision rewrite your habits, reshape your circle, recalibrate your days. Because if your days are not building your vision, they are burying it. This world does not need more sleepwalkers. It needs architects of destiny. You are one. Purpose is not a slogan. It is not a Pinterest quote. It's not something you write in a journal once and forget when life gets loud. Purpose is an engine. It roars when you are tired. It wakes when the world sleeps. It's what makes you do the hard things when no one is watching, because you are watching. When a man moves with purpose, his steps echo across centuries. You can hear it in the stories of those who refuse to die with their songs still inside them. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in a prison cell, but purpose kept his spine straight and his soul untamed. Helen Keller, blind, deaf, voiceless to the world, but purpose gave her a voice louder than thunder. You think your excuses are big? They had reasons. You have distractions. Purpose does not come to the comfortable. It comes to the committed. You will not find it scrolling, numbing, floating. You will find it the moment you say, I am no longer here just to survive. I am here to serve something greater. Maybe it's a mission, a calling, a responsibility to become what your younger self once prayed for. Whatever it is, don't wait for it to arrive neatly wrapped in signs and certainty. Decide. Purpose isn't something you wait for. It's something you declare. And once you do, burn the boats. There's no going back. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. The man without discipline is a slave to moods, to distractions, to the opinions of others. But the man with discipline is a master of his fate. You want confidence? It's not found in words. It's forged in the dark. When you choose the grind over the excuse, the reps over the comfort, the silence over the noise. Discipline is doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers wait to feel inspired. Doers act, and inspiration bows to them. Look at any titan of history, Carnegie, Da Vinci, Kobe, Jordan, none of them waited to feel motivated. They built routines that made their excellence inevitable. Discipline is the muscle behind greatness. It's the invisible architecture behind every masterpiece, every triumph, every legacy. Every day you skip it, you trade long-term greatness for short-term ease. And here's the truth the soft world won't tell you. You will suffer either way. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One builds you. One breaks you. Choose. All the vision, all the belief, all the purpose in the world means nothing without action. You can meditate on your goals. Journal until your pen runs dry. Create the most perfect plan. But if you don't move, if you don't build, it's all vapor. Motion is life. And stagnation is death. You say you're waiting for the right time. There is no right time. There is only now. Every moment you delay, the vision fades. Every excuse you feed becomes a wall between you and your future. Do not let hesitation rob you. Thomas Edison said, "Vision without execution is hallucination." You don't need more information. You don't need another course, another book, another tutorial. You need to start. Start messy. Start scared. Start small if you must, but start. Action sharpens belief. Action clarifies vision. Action builds discipline. You don't get confidence before the action, you earn it through the action. There is no shortcut. There is no hack. But there is power. There is glory in motion. Take it. Gratitude is not weakness. It is not soft. It is not passive. It is strength. Because in a world that sells dissatisfaction, that feeds on comparison, that whispers, "not enough," in your ear every hour, gratitude is rebellion. Gratitude says, "I have what I need to begin." It roots you. It centers you. It reminds you that you're already standing on the shoulders of giants, that you are the answer to prayers your ancestors never lived to see fulfilled. You breathe freely. You think. You move. You choose. That's power. Gratitude doesn't mean settling. It doesn't mean you stop climbing. It means you honor every step. You honor the pain that built you. The scars that strengthened you. The people who believed in you when you couldn't even look in the mirror. Because if you don't learn to appreciate now, you'll poison every success that comes later. Gratitude is not the opposite of ambition. It's the foundation of it. Because when you move with appreciation instead of entitlement, you move with grace. With energy. With joy. And joy is fuel. The world is changing. Faster than ever. And the ones who thrive are not the strongest. Not the smartest. Not the loudest. They are the most adaptable. They bend, but they do not break. They adjust without losing their core. They evolve without abandoning their truth. Darwin said it best, not survival of the fittest, but survival of the most responsive. When the storm hits, the rigid tree shatters, but the flexible one survives. And in that survival, it grows stronger. Life will never go exactly to plan. There will be failure, rejection, heartbreak, setbacks. But the question isn't, will you fall? The question is, will you rise differently? Will you pivot, reframe, redesign? Will you keep your eyes on the mountain while adjusting your steps in the valley? Adaptability is the quiet edge of the elite. It's not glamorous, but it is lethal. When the world zigs, you zag. When the market shifts, you move first. When the door closes, you build your own. Stay light. Stay sharp. Stay dangerous. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about what you do when you shatter. When the plan fails, when the losses pile up, when the voices say, "Give up," what then? That's the moment that writes your legacy. Because pain is the price of becoming. Every lion bears scars. Every mountain climber has bled on the stone. Every true champion has faced days that would have broken a lesser soul. Resilience is not given. It is earned in the trenches. It's what kept Harriet Tubman moving through the darkness, risking death again and again for freedom. It's what made Lincoln rise after every political failure until he became the spine of a divided nation. Resilience is the soul's refusal to stay down. And if you listen, it will whisper in your darkest hours, "Get up." Again. You may be bruised, but you are not broken. You may be tired, but you are not finished. The road will test you. It will strip away comfort, illusion, and ego. But if you keep rising, you become something the world cannot explain. Not just strong. Not just successful. But unbreakable. The moment you believe you've arrived, you've already begun to decay. Because the world belongs to those who remain students, forever. Einstein said, intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. Growth is not optional. It is required, if you want to rise. The greats were never satisfied with being good enough. They lived in curiosity. They read obsessively. They studied the patterns of their own defeats. They stayed humble. And that humility became a weapon. You think Carnegie built an empire by assuming he knew everything? No, he surrounded himself with mentors, learners, thinkers. He knew this: the more you know, the more you realize how much you don't. Learning isn't a phase. It's a lifestyle. It's in the books you read, the conversations you seek, the mistakes you reflect on instead of running from. And most of all, it's in your willingness to be wrong. Because ego kills growth. But humility, that builds titans. Let the world be your classroom. Let failure be your professor. Let hunger be your compass. Every day is a lesson, if you're awake enough to see it. You will never outgrow your identity. You can want more. Dream bigger. Set massive goals. But if deep down you still believe you're average, your results will prove you right. The real transformation isn't what you achieve. It's who you become. And becoming is a brutal, sacred thing. It requires you to kill off the weak parts of yourself. The cowardice. The comfort. The versions of you that were built to survive, not to thrive. You were not born to stay the same. You were born to evolve. To shed skins. To become a force. And that means stepping into an identity that matches your destiny, not your past. Speak as the person you're becoming. Think like them. Walk like them. Build habits that would make that version of you nod in approval. Because identity drives behavior. And behavior creates results. Want to know who someone really is? Don't ask them. Watch their patterns. The greats don't hope they'll succeed, they expect to. Because they've become the kind of people who do. This is not about fake confidence. It's about deep alignment. Let go of the version of you that settles. Let go of the stories that kept you safe. Step into the identity that sets the room on fire when you walk in. Become that. 1. The world is obsessed with speed. With shortcuts. With hacks. But the greats, the true artists, warriors, leaders, they are obsessed with mastery. Not for applause. Not for fame. But for the pursuit itself. Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." That's mastery. It's the relentless repetition of greatness. It's not sexy. It's not viral. It's daily. It's waking up to perfect your craft while others sleep. It's studying the game tape while others celebrate. It's falling in love with the process. Every master was once a beginner who didn't quit. Beethoven wrote over 700 compositions, but only a few are considered immortal. Jordan missed over 9,000 shots, but his name echoes louder than ever. Because they kept going. They kept refining. Mastery is not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. And if you commit to that path, not for a season, but for life, you will find a freedom the world cannot touch. The freedom of knowing you've given everything. So here we are. No more platitudes. No more borrowed fire. No more waiting for motivation. Because the truth is this. You don't need more motivation. You need a decision. A decision to rise. To show up. To become. To stop chasing dopamine and start chasing destiny. The moment you decide that your dream is not optional, but inevitable, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your posture sharpens. Your time becomes sacred. Your circle transforms. Because you've awakened. And no one can unsee what you've seen. You realize that motivation was never the problem. It was clarity, identity, purpose, discipline. It was you. You were always the key. Not the book. Not the video. Not the program. You. And when you move like that, when you walk through the world with conviction instead of craving comfort, doors open. The world responds to those who stop apologizing for their power. So burn this into your soul. There is no later. There is only now. This is your fire. Your breath. Your one shot on this earth. Make it count. Make it legendary. This is the only motivation you will ever need.